Who does not know Dustin Poirier? The UFC fighter from the United States who brilliantly became the first person to beat Connor McGregor by TKO in the octagon. The man who was born on January 19, 1989, was once a UFC Interim lightweight champion and was ranked first in the UFC lightweight class. Dustin's childhood was not as smooth as we think. Dustin's parents divorced when he was 5 years old. Dustin even had to be expelled from school in 8th grade because he was often involved in street fights. Despite having a difficult childhood, Dustin managed to prove himself and become a top lightweight fighter. But who would have thought behind his success, it turns out that Dustin has also experienced defeat. Here are Dustin Poirier's 6 losses in MMA. 1. Versus Danny Castillo, 2010. Dustin's fight against Danny Castillo took place on August 18, 2010, in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States. Danny Castillo is from San Francisco, California, and is from the gym team Alpha Male, while Poirier is from Gladiator Academy. Their score at that time was 8-3 to Castillo and 7-0 to Dustin. While Castillo is 30 years and 11 months old, and Dustin is 21 years and 6 months. Overall, Castillo managed to bring Dustin into a wrestling fight, so Castillo managed to win points. In the first round, Castillo immediately released a low shot which Poirier then replied shortly after. Dustin tried to score a point but he conceded, so he was trapped in wrestling, which was quite exhausting. In this round, Castillo also managed to land a pretty solid ground and pound. In the second round, Castillo managed to bring back the fight on the mat. Even so, Poirier managed to secure a tight triangular lock on Castillo. But apparently, the tight triangle wasn't properly formed, which prevented Castillo's veins from stopping completely. As a result, Castillo still has the energy to carry Dustin up and then slam him. Dustin's bonds were untied, then Castillo slid aside and managed to release the lock and take control of the fight. In the third round, Castillo managed to land a heavy blow and a kick down. Then Castillo tried to knock him down, but Dustin managed to land a punch. The fight then turns to wrestle, and Dustin once again manages to hook the triangle lock, but Castillo manages to escape and take control of Dustin. After a long struggle, finally, the match ended in victory over Castillo. 2. Versus Chan Sung-Young, 2012. Dustin's fight against the Korean Zombie made headlines on UFC on Fuel TV on May 15, 2012. Dustin became a rising fighter by bringing 5 consecutive wins, thus leading him to meet Chan Sung-Young. This victory will take him to compete in the featherweight belt, which was then held by Jose Aldo. For the record, that none of them were never submitted, and only Young suffered a KO defeat. Even though both of them fought well, only one person would come out victorious. Young has good striking, but Poirier is no less good, and he has to maintain his achievements so far. Although Young had experienced a quick defeat against Mark Homuk, his fight against Leonard Garcia has proven who Young really is. In this Dustin vs. Young match, they fought hard from the start, and finally, the Korean Zombie came out victorious. From this defeat, Dustin had to learn more to prepare for a long career at the age of only 23 years. It was a fight that the crowd was looking forward to, and the fight ended at 107 minutes into the 4th round. After the fight, Young spoke to John and Nick. "I want to thank all the Korean fans who came here today. He got me in trouble and the thought of giving up was in my head, but I kept going and got up with victory. I want Jose Aldo," Young said. 3. Versus Cub Swanson, 2013. The fight between the 2 best featherweight fighters took place on February 16, 2013, at the UFC on Fuel TV match in London, England. In this fight, each opponent has an equal chance of advancing to the division rank. Swanson has an impressive 3-game winning streak, where he beat his opponent in the second round in every bout. Swanson can make a good right-hand shot, deal massive damage in a clinch, or play in and out. Dustin himself tried to limit Swanson's ability to be able to land significant attacks, but that did little to help his struggles in this fight. If Dustin wasn't able to get close and grab Swanson, it would be a long day for Dustin. Seeing Swanson's striking ability added to Swanson's chances of a KO win over Dustin. Okay, let's assess how their ground plays. Neither fighter has a significant underplay. But if one of them is in an up position, they are equally effective. But there is a difference between the two, where Swanson will be very devastating in the ground and pound positions. Meanwhile, Dustin has more potential for submission when wrestling. That way, their grappling abilities can be said to be balanced. For Cub Swanson, even though his offensive defense wasn't great, the adjustments he made throughout the game and in each round were fantastic. That's what led Swanson to be the winner in this fight. 4. Versus Connor McGregor, 2014. This is the first time the top-ranked featherweight fight between the Diamond versus the Notorious takes place. They first met at UFC 178 on Saturday, September 27, 2014, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is where the Irishman hit Poirier and finished him off in the first round. McGregor may have earned some judgment on his words, but underneath it all, he also has impressive fighting skills. This is his first bout to take on the top 10, so it was crucial for McGregor to prove himself worthy of the challenge. On the other hand, Poirier is climbing the ladder to champion, as in the top 10, Poirier is a very appropriate test for Connor. In this fight, as usual, Connor started with a long shot and then a hook. Poirier looked quite calm and gave a foot kick in return. The two exchanged blows as the crowd cheered, with Connor continuing to push Dustin with kicks, and a series of attacks spiraled into his fight. Although Connor was hit by several blows from Dustin, finally Connor landed an upper fist with his left hand. The blow cut Poirier's temple and sent him falling to the mat. That's where Connor finished off Poirier with a series of ground attacks. This is the perfect performance from Connor McGregor, where he comes across as aggressive, pompous yet effective. Poirier might be the perfect opponent for Connor McGregor, but the Notorious got rid of him quicker than anyone else has. 5. Versus Michael Johnson, 2016. This fight took place at the UFC Night Fight event on September 17, 2016, and became the headliner of the event. This event also featured Manvel Gamburian versus Alejandro Perez, but Gamburian withdrew for some reason until he was replaced by Albert Morales. Abel Trujillo was also present to fight Evan Dunham, but Dunham withdrew and was replaced by Rick Glenn. Since moving from featherweight, Poirier has managed to crush several opponents, thanks to technical improvements and incredible hitting power. Beating Michael Johnson might be the last push Dustin needs to get to the next level. Meanwhile, Johnson, who was in Poirier's place just over a year ago, has made his mark on the title after several big wins in a row. Even though some heavy losses caused him to slip down, this was an opportunity for him to turn things around and start a new step up the ranking ladder. In the fight, Johnson began to attack quickly, maintained his range, and stabbed Poirier with jabs and low kicks. In buying and selling the first shot, Johnson's superiority and speed were clearly visible from his opponent's punch. Although Johnson looks sharp, Dustin looks quite calm, but it boomerangs because Dustin does a combination that is too high. Johnson took a quick step back, then landed a powerful hook cross on Poirier's chin. Finally, the fight ended with Michael Johnson coming out victorious. 6. Versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, 2019. Dustin Poirier's sixth defeat was against a boxer from Russia, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Their fight at that time made the headlines at UFC 242, which was held in Abu Dhabi on September 7, 2019. Khabib then maintained his unbeaten record of 27-0. While Dustin Poirier had his unification bout 25-5 on Saturday. Previously, Khabib had been suspended for 9 months, so that his status was interim champion, while Dustin Poirier was the interim champion. Even then, the fight became a champion fight against a champion that many people had been waiting for. However, it turns out that the fight turned out to be a long night for Dustin when he met the most brilliant wrestler in the world. Dustin met the man who had the longest winning streak in history with 27 straight wins. Khabib is one of 3 UFC fighters to have 11 straight wins at the start of his career. They are Anderson Silva and Royce Gracie. Dustin Poirier in his fight opened the attack with a sweep of the foot, while Khabib waited for opportunities to take down. His attempt was successful after 2 minutes of the fight. Khabib tried to control the fight to tie a neck lock, but Poirier wouldn't give up. Although the Eagle appeared aggressive, Poirier did not want to lose until the first round ended. In the second round, Khabib was still aggressive, but the Diamond managed to land a consecutive jab and turn things around, prompting Khabib to retreat into the octagon wall. Even though he managed to land a few punches, in fact, it wasn't enough to bring Khabib down. In fact, the Eagle actually managed to do a takedown and didn't give Dustin a chance to attack. In the third round, Poirier threw a couple of underhand shots and managed to wrap himself around a tight guillotine, but again that wasn't enough to stop Khabib. Finally, after the lock was released, Khabib had complete control over the fight and managed to put his arm around the rear naked choke. Well, those are Dustin's 6 defeats. Will his meeting with Charles Oliveira add to Dustin's list of defeats later? Or will lead him to the championship belt that he really dreamed of? Whatever it is, their fight is worth the wait to find out who the real champions in the octagon ring are. Don't forget to give your thumbs up, write your comments below and share with your friends. See you in other videos. See ya.